my audience today. They were nice enough to come and watch me do my speech. Hello, my name is Maria, and today I'm going to be talking to you about psychiatric medication, why they are unsafe, and why the whole process of getting these medications is also unsafe. Did you know that 1 in 6 Americans are on psychiatric drugs? Did you know worldwide over 100 million people are on psychiatric medications? Along with that, 17 million children worldwide are also on these medications. And altogether, 46.6 million people in the USA, at least, have some kind of mental disorder or illness. What is a psychiatric medication? It's a licensed psychoactive drug taken to exert an effect on the chemical makeup of the brain and the nervous system within someone. Psychiatric drugs and psychiatrists should be avoided because they are dangerous. There's many side effects that can alter a person more so than they were before taking the medication, and the process involved to get the medication is dangerous, as you can't be too trusting of the psychiatrist. Another big support of why you should not take these medications is that there's no physical testing for mental disorders. There's not a blood test or screening or anything they can do to prove that you have a mental disorder. People get misdiagnosed for minor symptoms a lot as well, which can make it sketchy getting diagnosed for something. Along with that, there's many psychiatrists that abuse natural responses of people. When I say natural responses, I mean that when someone goes in to see a psychiatrist, they only see the psychiatrist for a short amount of time. The psychiatrist takes that little bit, depending on that person on that day in that mood, that's what they get, and then they target it to a disorder, a medication. Another point to be aware of is that psychiatrists make a lot of money and in many ways are greedy. The psychiatry industry is a $330 billion thing right now. It's a lot of money. Along with that, psychiatrists can make $150 or more just on 3 15-minute visits where they are prescribing. Many prescribe stuff, as I said earlier, with little to justify why are they prescribing it. When I say that, I mean there's just not enough time and effort and communication with the person they are prescribing to really know if they have this disorder or they need this medication. Also, along with that, there's little to no talk therapy available. By talk therapy, I'm talking about psychologists. A psychiatrist prescribes, a psychologist prescribes and does talk therapy. If you don't have that talk therapy, it's hard for the psychiatrist to really know if you need something or not. This is very difficult. So with that not being very available, it leaves people limited to seeing psychiatrists and getting a short amount of time to figure out what's wrong with them and what they need. Along with that, seeing a psychiatrist, the appointments are only 15 minutes. That's it. Let's talk about children and the effects that these drugs have on children. 10 million children in the U.S. take these psychiatric medications. It's a large number. Some of these medications are stimulants, which are used for ADD and ADHD, antidepressants, mood stabilizers, and so on. Let's start with stimulants for the children and how they are problematic. Why are they problematic? A lot of different reasons. First off, studies show that a child's brain is not fully developed to the size it's going to get to until age 10. At age 5, they're about 70 or 80% developed. Age 10, they're almost hovering to 100%. A lot of children are put on these medications, these stimulants, when they are younger, and their brain is not fully developed yet, at least in size, and that can be effective on people in bad ways, especially these children. Along with that, these stimulants stunt children's growth. They did a study. They took a child on medication and one not on medication. The one on the stimulant medication developed to be smaller than the one not on it, which was proving that these stimulants are hindering their growth. So altogether, are these stimulants good for the child? Are these medications really a good thing? Along with that, there's many effects on children of the other psychoactive drugs, such as the depressants, mood stabilizers, and whatnot. They found in studies that children treated with antipsychotic and antidepressant drugs had an increase of emotional disorders 6 to 8 years after getting treatment. Meaning, they went and got treatment, they got help, and 6 to 8 years later, the emotional disorders actually kept coming and getting worse. So was the treatment really working in the end? Showing, is this effective or not, these psychiatric medications. Along with that, let's talk about adults. So we know the effects that it has on children with the stimulants and the other antipsychotics. But let's talk about the effects that these psychiatric drugs have on adults. So every psychiatric drug has a huge list of effects. It would be hard to touch on all the different ones for each pill. But here I have a few effects that are associated with almost every pill. To start, weight gain. Weight gain usually happens when you take some kind of antipsychotic medication. Along with that, there's emotional flattening. There's also sleep disturbances, which can be problematic as we need sleep to be healthy and stable. Sexual dysfunction is another effect. And then hyperprolactinemia. I picked 2 out of these effects to talk to you about because I felt that they were the most important and that you should be aware of. The first one is emotional flattening. Emotional flattening is basically when you don't show emotion and you can't transfer it well outward. It shows in a reduced expression and display of emotion. It shows with a monotone voice. People with it usually have a lack of interest, and usually there's a lack of verbal and nonverbal communication. The point that this brings me to is somebody who's getting emotional flattening from a psychiatric drug, think about it. They're getting on this medication to help find neutral and stable. Having this emotional flattening going on really would make you feel unstable as you can't project the feelings that you naturally need to. Along with emotional flattening, there's hyperprolactinemia. It's a condition. It's a blood condition, actually. It occurs when you have higher than normal levels of prolactin hormone in the blood. This is problematic, especially to adults, as for females and males, it affects estrogen and testosterone. It also can affect breast milk production. So anybody having a child or has one or whatnot and they're on these medications, there's a scare, and then the sexual dysfunction comes up with the hormone imbalance for the different things going on sexually for the men and women. Altogether, psychiatric medications are dangerous along with the process of getting them. There's many ways for you to choose a different path than choosing just the medication and seeing a psychiatrist. Actually, they're natural paths, and I would highly suggest them to you. The first thing I would suggest for somebody who's going through some kind of disorder or imbalance is that they eat healthy. Eating healthy can help you from the inside out. What you put into you comes out usually in different ways. And if you eat healthy, it helps you to stay balanced. Along with healthy diet, exercise. When you exercise, it releases endorphins. Endorphins make you feel good. They release in your brain, and you need that. It can help you stay stable. Along with that, there's some supplements and vitamins you could take, such as B vitamins. B vitamins help you have more energy, they get your metabolism going, and energy deficiency is usually a problem with people who have some kind of disorder. You can also take 5-HTP. 5-HTP is an amino acid that helps your body communicate to your brain to release serotonin, which is your happy chemical in your brain. Altogether, I think medication is not good for you. You should not take it, and the psychiatrists that prescribe it are not valid. I'm going to wrap up with a little bit of a statistic slash, good stuff for you to carry on with. So from 1999 to 2014, drugs prescribed increased 117%. From 1999 to 2014, suicide increased 24%. Those are the numbers. I've told you the effects. I've told you about the psychiatrist. The choice is up to you. You take it natural, or do you take on psychiatry? Thank you, crowd, for being here.